My name is Natukunda Mellisa. I am an 18-year-old who has currently finished her ESCO at Mount St. Mary's College, Namagunga. I am an I entered the National Schools Anti-Corruption Challenge 2022-2023 as part of the interview section. And for my interviewee, I have Mr. Ruzaza, who is the current chairman of the NGO Forum in Kisoro district, as well as a former field worker, both at district levels and ministry levels, a field worker in the disease vector control departments, both in the district and at the ministry level. He's worked in that sector for more than 15 years and is very key and has been very key in fighting different epidemics in this country. So, Mr. Ruzaza, could you please describe one of your close encounters with corruption when you worked in the district local government?
Yes. That on one of those occasions, I reported an epidemic of malaria, and there were drugs for malaria in the stores. Instead of them giving me the drugs and I take to health facilities which required the drugs, I was told that it needed a procurement. So I was told to testify a procurement for malaria control, and it went through the channel, through my district health officer, to the camp, and the malaria drugs were procured without my government. And at the time I was informed that that they had drugs in the stores. They wanted to do a procurement, but they wanted to make a difference. And so they took some difference and they brought to excess the anti-malaria drugs. And that was one of the encounters I had in the health sector at the district level.
So at that moment, was that case reported? Were those people dealt with?
No, there were no channels reporting.
So currently, there are different measures the government is trying to put in. Even you, as part of the NGO forum, you're witness to some of these measures. So do you think that these measures are as effective as the government wants it to be?
No, because the government says one thing, and in practice they are doing the other thing. They are encouraging corruption on one side, but also speaking against corruption. The voice should be one, that acts and words must be the same. Policies must also be the same. So that in order to fight corruption and cheating in this country, leadership must be streamlined at all levels, and they speak the same language. And what they speak is what they do.
So basically, there's a break in the way services are delivered. Now, you say that the actions are not the same as what they speak. They preach anti-corruption, but they are acting differently, encouraging the corrupt people. So, you've seen an example of this. Could you please tell me an example on how you prefer that particular person were dealt with? A scenario where you feel like what happened was wrong, and the way you would have preferred.
You see, corruption affects every Ghana. Therefore, every Ghana must be involved in the fight against corruption. Whether you are a worker or employed by government, and whether you are politicians. And therefore, there are no systems in this country to make sure the worker and the affected citizen are all engaged in the business of fighting corruption. Yet they are all affected. Because assuming that the employee of government was not corrupted, then there would be adequate money to reward him for any work the workers are doing. Because there is corruption, the worker himself is not able to survive because the government pays this worker into money. In order to make ends meet, he must devise other methods of getting money. at the end of the day, you have also asked this question of how would I expect the government to be in a position to put in institutions and framework to fight corruption. But also the communities also must also put in a system. The best system is where you have whistleblowers who can inform people who are in responsible positions of government, who themselves are not corrupt, so that they can report corruption incidences. And when they are handled, and the government saves the money, or the community saves the money, the whistleblower must be rewarded. That's the only way to fight corruption. Involve the community, who are the benefactors, involve government, involve the civil servants, so they see the benefit of having a free, corrupt society.
But we've seen how certain individuals are benefiting from corruption. As a common man, you've interacted closely with these people in the community. As common men, they believe that if they get a chance, they will do it as well. What is your message to such people? People who feel that there's no chance that they, as a simple person, can fight against corruption.
Corruption is a vice which is as old as mankind. And therefore, we have seen people fighting corruption. From the biblical times, or from the times when the human being came into existence, corruption has been there. But also, certain societies have broken the chains of corruption. So we must give Ugandans a message. We must give the people of Kisoro a message that corruption can be fought. Because there are certain people who have fought them and succeeded. Therefore, the first message is that if each one of us played one's role to fight corruption, doing the right thing and making sure you earn a living honestly without engaging in wrong acts that can result into self-satisfaction. So selfishness is a vice that we must fight also. Selfishness is a bad vice. Once you become over-selfish and you want everything for yourself, and those corruption tendencies also come into place, then you have a mindset of encouraging corruption. So we must tell people about the benefits of having a free corruption society, which are for everybody, whether the employer or the employee or government or the servants or the common man. When we live in a free society, definitely we all enjoy. When we live in a highly corrupt society, there are fights. Resources are ever limited, and you will always fight for those resources. And the only way to access them is through corruption and doing dubious things in order to earn a living. And I think those are messages which every Ugandan knows, which everybody needs to know, which if we emphasize, we can fight corruption.
Thank you, Mr. Christopher, for your valuable time. And you heard it from here. The best way to fight corruption is to show people what it means to live when you're not corrupt, what it means to have a community, a society free from corruption.
Thank you.